Welcome to the 2023 Winter Classic Student Cluster Competition Studio Update Show. Now, here are your hosts, Dan Olds and Addison Snell.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the 2023 Intersect 360 Research Winter Classic Invitational Student Cluster Competition Studio Update Show. I'm Addison Snell alongside Dan Olds again. And Dan, the competition is underway, and we've got our first results in.
We've got numbers. We've got results. This is great. Teams right now are currently working on results from HPL and HPCG, but previously they did our infamous HPC pop quiz.
This pop quiz is a fun way to start the competition, and this time
sponsored. That's right. Go ahead.
Sponsored and put together by our friends at Penguin Solutions, who helped us craft the quiz this year. And the pop quiz, its really intent is to provide a primer level introduction to high performance computing, a little bit of trivia, a little bit of history, what the current state of things is. And we're not throwing everybody just into the deep end. There's links, there's reading material, not too much of it, but you can do a little quick cram job. And then we give them a little test to see how much they paid attention to their HPC history.
But at the same time, make it a little more difficult because we factor the time they took on the test into their score. We don't want them just Googling their way through this.
No, well, I mean, anyone could do that. But if you read it in advance, you took it in, and now you know the answer, and you can click through, then you're going to get a top score. Now, this year's quiz, you pointed it out in our first studio update show this year, it definitely was a little tougher than last year's quiz. There was some meat to it.
There was. Let's take a look at a couple of sample questions. First one here, how many systems are currently in the top 10 of both the top 500 Green 500?
0, 1, 2, 3, or more than 3. I would have gotten this one right, Dan. I claim it is
2. 2. You would have nailed that one. I'm not so sure. I would have probably said 3. Now, this is a really good one. I would have nailed this one, as would you. While the top 500 list is ordered by HPL LINPACK, known and beloved, RMAX results, the HPCG benchmark results are generally about what? 50% of RMAX, 33% of RMAX, 15% of RMAX, or only 3% of RMAX?
Yeah, HPCG is a tough benchmark. That's going to be a low number, maybe the lowest number on the chart.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is 3%. And this one was really interesting. What was funny to me is when I ran this question by you, you knew it because you'd seen it in the news.
I had.
So it's while the Frontier cluster uses liquid cooling to dissipate waste heat from components, right? It has 4 350 horsepower pumps. How much water does it circulate a minute? How much liquid? 24,000 gallons, 12,000, 6,000, 2,000, 1,000? And your answer, Addison, is?
6,000.
Right on the money. That is a lot of liquid, by the way.
I got a tour of that system, and it's fairly impressive in multiple ways. And they make a big deal out of the water circulation on that system. It's a lot of innovation going into liquid cooling in order to be able to operate at exascale.
Oh, yeah, that is a lot of power and fantastic. I want to drill down and find out what their temperatures are of the liquid, but I can research that up.
Now, here's one that I would have had trouble with because I would have had the order of magnitude pretty quickly, but specifically, how much more powerful is the number one system on the top 10 on top 500 list today than it was in 1993 when the list first started? And you've got a number that's about 1 million, one that's about 10 million, one that's about 12, and one that's about 15. Now, I would have had order of 10 million pretty quickly by doing some generational math in my head, but 10, 12, or 15, that would have been a lucky stab for me. What's the answer?
The answer, and I've got to say with some pride, I came up with this question, 12,862,595X.
Wow, that's a lot of generational improvement.
A little more than Moore's law.
And it really underscores the pace of innovation in this industry. And if we're going to continue to innovate, we need to continue to get innovators. And that's what this competition is all about. Hopefully, by showing these students what HPC can do, just giving an overview of the amount of power that we're talking about here, we've whet their appetite for the rest of the competition and some real world applications. You mentioned they're working on HPL and HPCG right now. Let's talk about how they did on the top quiz. Bring me the leaderboard.
You really want the leaderboard?
I want the leaderboard.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for the leaderboard.
At the leaderboard, we're showing a blank one first, just so you can see how it lays out, and you can see all of the modules arrayed from left to right. Now,
how's this overall going to work? We've got six different challenges. 100 points per challenge, 600 points total max score if you're the top scorer in each challenge.
And what you don't see on that leaderboard is the interview. That's the final thing. That's where HPC experts delve into what the teams have been doing for the past 6 or 7 weeks.
This interview matters, and it made a difference in the competition last year.
It decided it. And it decided a number of places as well. Now, one thing you should know when you see the numbers, that we normalize all the scores. So there's going to be one team. Yeah, one team in each category is going to nail down 100 points, and the other scores are based on how well they did compared to that team. So without further ado, let's take a look at the first 4 teams on the leaderboard. And there they are. And, we've got some teams that did okay, but probably could have hit the books a little bit harder. And that's your University of Santa Cruz, Jackson State, results not guaranteed, and the Texas Tech Matadors. But that's okay. Again, it's early. Then, as usual, we have a clot of teams in the middle. And that's scoring from 77.69% or points all the way up to 88.12. And that ranges everybody from Morehouse, FAMU, Prairie View, Texas Tech Red Raiders, and getting towards the top there at 87 and 88, respectively, University of Texas El Paso and University of New Mexico. You ready to see what happens at the top?
Podium. Who's in the top 3 spots right now?
Okay, here we go. We've got University of New Mexico at 88 points, Cal Poly Pomona at 93.74, and the Channel Islands High Performance Dolphins proving out their name with 100 points.
Wow. Fantastic. Way to go, Dolphins, nailing the quiz.
They certainly did. They're going to bring home a heap of points in this exercise. And the top, 2 teams at 93 and 100 have achieved a little bit of separation from the rest of the field.
Yeah, but we know from last year there's a long way to go on this one. And we've still got 4 benchmarks. We still got the interview. This is a nice little setup, but this is looking at who's winning the Indianapolis 500 after the first 50 laps. There's a long way to go on it. Yeah.
And we'll see who nails their pit stops and who makes the quick getaways streaking through the field. It happens. So there's your first look at the leaderboard. Next up, we're going to be talking about our next set of results from LINPAC and HPCG.
Mentored by our friends at HPE, who have been huge supporters. They're our platinum sponsor this year. They're also mentoring with the HPL and HPCG. Major thanks to HPE for their sponsorship.
Absolutely.
Thanks to Penguin for sponsoring and helping to coordinate the pop quiz. And big congratulations to all the teams for getting started. I'm really looking forward to see how this goes.
And look for us in HPC Wire, our official media partner, and on social media. As you can see, the accounts are up there on the screen. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.